Hello and welcome back to the Future Frontiers Career Coaching video tutorial number 3. So just a quick recap. In the Discover section, we looked at what your pupils were interested in and then using START to find out which careers relate to those interests. We're now on to the Explore section, where we're going to identify the different characteristics of each of the careers your students are interested in. So what does this consist of? Going to start off by just having an overview of the stage, looking at where you can actually find out more information about the different careers, guiding your pupils independently, the different career profiles that your pupils need to make, and then making sure they rank those profiles so they find a top career. We're also going to look at briefly preparing for the National Career Service Advisor call, and some of you in this session will actually be doing the call, and you may be interviewing other coaches. So we'll look at that briefly at the end. So just as an overview, the key things that we're going to look at in this video are how to conduct research and the resources to find that, identifying a top career, and preparing for the NCS call. So we're going to look at that briefly. The fourth overview section says about professional expert calls. We're not going to look at that in this video, that'll be for the next video. So in the corresponding pupil handbook, 3 things we're looking at: career profiles, ranking those careers, and briefly the NCS advisor call. The main outcome that we're going to get from this session, or at least make sure you've already done, is to identify a top career for each of your pupils. Okay, so what are the resources that you're going to be using in this session? For careers information in general and exploring pathways, you're going to be looking at National Career Service. Probably the first place I'd start is actually with START, so the profile that your pupils have made and the careers that are suggested for them. Programs like All About Careers or All About School Leavers. And then if your pupils are starting to lean towards apprenticeships, Get In, Go Far as a government website or Not Going to Uni are great. And if they're looking towards university, which university or UCAS are the places to start? This is what it looks like in the corresponding pupil handbook. So let's have a quick look at what that actually looks like online. So if you go on to START, let's say your pupil's looking at being an aerospace engineer, for example. The top 3 categories are the ones that I'd focus on. So an overview, what would I do, salary and hours, and qualifications and routes in. These 4, not 3, will help you identify and fill in the profiles for each of the jobs. From there, you can then go down and look on job profiles and search job profiles on the National Career Service website. You can also go on All About Careers and again use their search function here. If your pupils are looking for apprenticeships, go onto the menu on Get In, Go Far and you click on apprenticeships. This can also be done at Not Going to Uni. So you see here, just go on the category and click apprenticeships. If they're looking at university options, or that's where they're being directed towards, using UCAS, again the search option, or which. So that's the way you can go. Okay, so all of those resources will help you fill in these specific activities. So the first activity in Explore is building the career profiles. So each of your pupils will need to do this for 3 different careers. First thing you look at is what the income and the hours are, what the daily activities might be, and also then the qualifications, routes in, and advantages and disadvantages. So in your corresponding coach handbook, you'll see a really clear example. This one talks about making sure that it's done independently, the research. And for example, they could be looking at being an architect. So income of 38,000, hours 39 per week. What would they do? Get them to write some things down that they've researched, qualifications and routes in, and then the advantages and disadvantages. Really simple. So at the end of that process, you've got to make sure that the pupil has identified at least one top career. That's the one that you're going to be focusing on and finding professional experts for them to call later on. In your coach handbook, you'll see that there's space for you to write down the pupil names of all the pupils that you have and each of their top careers. You may have 4, you may have 3, you may have 2, but make sure you get them down. Okay, so that's the Explore section in the first instance. Some of you, as I said, will be onto the Careers Service Advisor call. Now, In your coach handbook, you'll see there's some clear instructions here as to what you need to do and what your role is. The two things that you need to focus on before you speak to a National Career Service advisor is getting your pupil to think of 2 questions that they're going to ask the Career Service advisor and to record those questions at this link. You can also go onto the NCS video on the coach portal for more ideas as exactly what you should ask the careers advisor, or what you should encourage your pupils to ask them. The corresponding page is in the pupil handbook, page 21, and this is where you fill in those 2 questions that your pupils have. Underneath, once you're actually speaking to the careers advisor, you'll see there's a space for them to take notes. For those of you who are, the very few who are actually speaking to a careers advisor in your next session, this is detailed really clearly in the coach handbook. So that's it for this video. Good luck and see you again next week.